Welcome to the Y Connect podcast. As the heartbeat of the community, the Y is a connector where people of all ages and walks of life come together to elevate their health, wellness, education, and essential life skills. Hear the stories of impact and join the authentic conversations where together we'll discover the journeys and pathways people take to connect through the Y. Now your hosts, Zarina, Robert, and Allison.
Hi, how are you guys?
Great morning, everybody. Great Monday morning.
Another day in paradise. That's what I call it.
Correct. I would have to agree with you.
Sure, our guest is telling us the same thing.
Exactly.
Oh, but it's good to see you guys.
New? It's good to see you guys too.
As mentioned last week during that podcast, this is birthday week for me. So, excited. We get two podcasts within 1 week of my birthday. That's okay. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And the exact day of your birthday, Robert? What is it? The
Sunday.
Exact day?
Next Sunday, June 11th.
Okay, June 11th.
June 11th.
Gotcha. All right. I would say we sing you happy birthday, but yeah.
Not today. We can do it on Thursday.
I don't have your pipes.
I did not have your You'd have to sing to yourself.
No worries.
Do you have anything special planned on the 11th of June this year?
I will be on a beach in Florida.
Oh, nice.
That's all I know. That's all I know. I will be on a beach in Florida and getting Italian food that night.
And Italian food.
That's all I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
well
deserved
birthday.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Well, today we have. As you want.
Yes, I was just going to say, please take it away, Robert.
Today we have the esteemed pleasure of working with really one of the strongest voices that I've had a chance to meet and work with here at the YMCA, Miss Monique Lee. She is the Associate Executive Director of the Arthur M. Blank Family Youth YMCA. Monique has been an integral part of the YMCA for over 15 years. She initially joined the YMCA of Middle Tennessee out of Nashville, and 2 years ago, she transitioned to the Arthur M. Blank Family Youth YMCA, where she is now the Associate Executive Director. Her journey began as a Y parent/volunteer, and throughout her tenure, she has held various roles, showcasing her dedication to the community. In her time with the Y, she has worked with after-school programming, active older adults, community campaigns, and senior programming and membership. She has served as the co-chair of the Women's Leadership Resource Network. Most recently, she was appointed as co-chair of the African American Resource Network. Furthermore, she is a member of the YMCA of Metro Atlanta Equity Cohort, demonstrating her commitment to promoting equity and inclusion. Monique, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
I'll kick it off with the first question, Monique. The Blank Family Youth YMCA is solely focused on youth programming. Could you describe for our listeners how your center is different from other traditional Ys?
Yes, I would be glad to. So I always tell everyone that the YMCA here at Arthur Blank, we are not a typical or a regular YMCA where we have the workout equipment, but we definitely get a workout. So we have over 350 youth that come in and out of our doors each day. And here at the Arthur Blank YMCA, we have 6 classrooms that serve our early learning department, and that is from 6 weeks up to 4 years old. We also have 2 Georgia pre-K head classrooms. One is a Head Start branded classroom. And with that classroom, parents are able to receive services for their kids that they might not be able to receive due to the lack of not having insurance or having the PCP to be able to provide their care. We also have an after-school program. And one thing about this facility, we are a very unique facility because we sit in the heart of Atlanta. and we are connected to a early e- um I'm sorry, uh, a elementary school that serves K through 8th grade. So they have about 876 students in that facility. And also with that facility, they serve the highest homeless population. So they have about 300 students that serve from the homeless shelter that feeds into the school next door. I actually pointed because I'm looking directly at the school.
Yeah.
So with that, we 75% of our after school kids come from Centennial, and then the remaining comes from Kip Wage, which we bus in each and every day. We also have youth programs here, but one of the things I want to give a shout out, we are a national and state champion cheer team here. So
Oh,
from
wow.
2017 up
Well
until
done.
today, we have held that championship, and we're going to continue to hold it as long as we have our cheer team here.
Wow.
But we
Absolutely.
also provide other resources in sports. So we have our basketball clinics, we do flag football, we have indoor soccer, and we are planning to have more because we will be fixing our rock wall. Now, that is something I'm really excited about. It has been down
Fantastic.
since 2017, and so we will be fixing that, and we'll be started to have climbing clubs. We also have day camp, which is going on now. So we have about 120 kids enrolled in our day camp, and through that, we're able to provide field trips. We're working on taking our kids swimming, probably for the first
Hmm.
time in about 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And then we're also providing them with hot, nutritious meals here. Also, we
Yes.
do what we call food boxes, and I'll probably speak a little bit more on that once we get to our partnerships. But we provide food boxes to all of our kids here and as well as the community through Urban Recipes. So,
Oh,
like
that's
I
great.
said, that we are not the traditional workout facility, but we definitely do get a workout here at Arthur and Blank Family YMCA and by working with children and providing that foundation for them.
It is
Nice.
Great.
truly
Wow.
a special place. When I was first hired at the Y about 4 years ago, the Arthur M. Blank Youth Family Y was one of the first locations I had the chance to visit. And it's just got this energy when you walk in the building. And you nailed it when you said you get a workout. There's so much going on with youth. And so I want to ask you, Monique, since you joined RY a couple of years ago, and this Y is located, like you said, in the heart of downtown, tell us about the different partnerships that your Y is engaged in. Where you're located, it's just right there off Georgia Tech's campus.
Right.
Correct. So the partnership. So like I said, we are the heart of the Atlanta YMCA. Well, we're the heart of the downtown YMCA, and through our partnerships. So when I arrived here, one of the things that the school had spoke to me about is helping close the gap in literacy, and so that is something that I'm very passionate about is literacy as well. And so what I did was I immediately started reaching out to our local colleges that's in this nearby area, just trying to figure out ways to bring volunteers inside our facility. And so I was able to connect with Spelman Reed. So Spelman University has a program there where they give back to students that's struggling in reading. And Spell Reed was able to provide us with 30 volunteers to come to and work with 30 students that have been identified by the school system. So Centennial was able to identify kids as well as Kipways. And so those kids was identified, and Spelman comes in, they work with those children individually with a program called Book Nook. And so through that, we were able to see that gap starting to close. And so that happened in 2021. And so that partnership has continued into 2023, and we will plan to continue on. Spelman receives funding for this program. So this is kind of like one of their initiatives they have taken on to go inside of schools and help close that literacy gap. And so I'm just excited that Arthur and Blank families and scholars here are able to take on that opportunity. One of the things that we did do with our partner Spelman is this year we always have our Healthy Kids Day. And like I said, We don't get a workout, so we're not able to show off our workout facility, but we were able to show off some of the things that we're doing here at Arthur Blank. And so Spelman decided to come in and offer free reading tutoring opportunity to those families, siblings. But one of the things they did do, they was able to offer a literacy component for our Healthy Kids Day. And so with that component, they was able to provide a book, or they read the books to the kids, and then they did a fun activity, and then they did a activity for the kids to take home. So that was one of the things that I was so excited about with our Healthy Kids Day, because there's something that has never been done, and I want to continue that, because the literacy is very important, especially within our youth and in the school systems. So that is just one partnership. We have another partnership that we have with our after school kids. We connected with a gentleman that actually came, his name was Tom, to our Healthy Kids Day in 2022. And he wanted to start a karate program that is free to our students, but it's around that of social and emotional learning. Mm-hmm. And so we got that connected today. So we are partnered with Power Up, and they provide free karate with the uniforms and the belts to 30 kids in our program. Yes,
That's
so we got an
fantastic.
opportunity to see 30 students at the end of the school year receive a white belt. Some did receive orange belts at the end of their season. So today, actually, that program continues, because we're kicking off our first day in karate with the social emotional learning aspect today in our day camps.
Wow, that's
so that's
Monique,
just the name.
thank you.
You're so welcome.
I
And
said
that's
thank
just the name.
you.
Oh, you're so welcome. We do it for the kids because they are our future. So I'm really excited that we have partners to be able to provide those opportunities to our scholars.
And you'd mentioned food boxes at the beginning, a partnership that you've developed. Could you speak a little bit about that work as well, that partner?
Yes. So actually, Urban Recipe was introduced to us by Allison and her team. And so
nothing like a little endorsement there.
Plug.
Exactly.
Right. And so I was like, hey, we need to figure out how to work with this organization so that we could be able to push out our boxes. So with the backpack program, we actually give the students on the first and third Friday a meal to take home for the family to be able to prepare for a family of 4. And so we partnered with Urban Recipes, and the family will receive a box full of goods, and they are all non-perishable items, but they are items that families can put together for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to prepare a meal for a family of 4. And so with that partnership, we're able to give out 50 families a box. We also partnered with Centennial Place, which is the apartment mixed income housing that's literally down the street from us. We was able to partner with them. We was able to partner with Centennial Academy. And then we're also able to partner with our families here to be able to provide those meals to our families.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciated that plug. But one other thing I'll mention about Urban Recipe that I found so interesting, because as many people remember during the pandemic, we really stepped into the food insecurity space. But as we have moved away from the pandemic, we have about 6 or 7 branches that are still engaged in food insecurity work. But we really feel like it's those partners that do this all the time, that this is their mission. And so when we met Urban Recipe, we were really inspired because it's a co-op model. So a lot of the people you see in that video working in that facility are actual individuals that receive the food as well. So they're serving as volunteers, but also receiving the food. And it's just a holistic model. So thanks for sharing that, Monique. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So welcome.
Truly amazing work. Truly amazing work. And as Monique has mentioned before, the Arthur and M. Blank Family YMCA is located downtown, where the nation's first public housing project, Techwood and Clark Howell Homes, once existed. And I often mention of my years being down here at Morehouse, so I'm very familiar with that area. Today, your Y has a strong partnership with Centennial Place Apartment Homes and shares a campus with Centennial Academy, a K through 8 charter school. If you can talk about these important partnerships with Centennial Academy and with the K-8 charter school.
Yes. So when we say partnerships, I always think of take it as the community is the partner. And so we are that resource for that community. And so just working with Centennial Place Apartments as well as Centennial Academy has been actually great because they actually help lift up the work that we do here to be able to serve the families that they serve. And so one of the things I wanted to highlight when I arrived here at Arthur Blank, working with Centennial, one of the things they wanted us to do is to be able to work together so that we are touching the families multiple times, which we do. We touch them through early learning. They travel through early learning. They go to our pre-K program. They travel from pre-K, and then they go to our Centennial Academy location. But then they turn around and they come back to us for after school. And so the way that we did that, the leadership there, we all came together and we tried to figure out a way that we can be able to work on that travel plan. That's what we called it, a travel plan, because we wanted to make sure they leave from our Y, go through our early pre-K program, and then land a seat there at Centennial Academy. And so one of the things that we did, how we did that, is by making sure that our early learning director was connected with the principal over there at Centennial Academy for the early learning part of that. And so we was able to secure a kindergarten day where our pre-K that was graduating from pre-K was able to travel to Centennial Academy and sit in a kindergarten class for a half of the day. So they got an opportunity to be a kindergartner for 4 hours. So I think
That's
that was great. Yes.
Absolutely.
And so the other thing we did with Centennial is to be able to secure that model was to have our enrollment specialists from Centennial Academy to come over and do what we called an open house for those families so they could be able to secure that seat at Centennial. So they came over, they helped parent with paperwork, they gave them all the resources that they need to be able to locate a birth certificate or immunization records. We was able to do all of that so those families can be able to have what they need so they can be successful and their kids can be successful at Centennial Academy. And we did that during open enrollment. We also have been able to work with Centennial because Centennial, like I say, they are connected to us. And when they built this facility, they built us to be a partner, a strong partner. And so what we do is we allow Centennial to come in with their kids and they utilize several of our spaces. So they utilize our gym for our their upper kids to be able to have physical education. They utilize our rock room so the students could be able to utilize that for their physical education. And then they also utilize our we call it the multi-purpose room, but they call it the cafeteria because that's what is being utilized at during the school year for them, for their older kids to be able to come out the classroom with the younger ones and be able to have their own special safe place for them to be able to enjoy their classmates. So they utilize our multi-purpose room in that way. And so with that partnership has grown to where we are now utilizing their facility because we do not have enough space here for the 120 kids that we serve in the afternoon. And so we are allowed to use 2 of their classrooms to be able to provide homework assistance, to be able to provide STEAM activities, to be able to provide any other activities that we need. We are allowed to use those spaces. So,
if I can chime in, that picture you were just showing, Russ, for folks that do watch our podcast, you see students there that are high school graduates. They came back to be honored because they graduated from Centennial in 8th grade, and they've received college scholarships from the school.
Wow.
And it was called our Legends ceremony. Very, very special. So just wanted to lift that piece up.
Wow.
So, and also just to, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, just to highlight some other ways that we have worked on that partnership with Centennial Academy. Security, safety became an issue. Well, I won't say it became an issue, but it definitely became a concern. And so, with us being connected, we wanted to create a pipeline for us to be able to communicate with one another, because they might hear things that's happening outside of our walls that we might not hear about, and we might hear things that's happening outside of our walls that they might not hear about. So we did create a communication plan where my leadership and their leadership is all on this a group meet together, and we are able to communicate through that group meet of things that we are hearing outside of our walls to be able to communicate with one another. So if we had to take safety, or if we had to call the police, or if the police had been called, we'll all be able to communicate so we can keep our scholars safe. So that's
so
definitely,
important.
that is very important. And I think that really has strengthened our partnership. And it's other things that we have down the pipeline that we will continue to strengthen our partnership with Centennial Academy. Centennial Place, I mean, I love everyone there. Afua is like my on speed down for everything. She actually started around the same time that I started. So we got an opportunity to build that foundation, to build that vision together, to say how we wanted our partnership to look. And so with Afua, she has come in and she has worked with our early learning department on recruiting pre-K students, on recruiting class students for our fee for service, helping parents get caps so they can be able to put their kids in early learning or in any type of daycare. She is like amazing. She also helps us when it's time for us to recruit for camp. She helps us in so many ways. And then one of the things I definitely want to highlight is when we started our backpack program, they were the first organization that I thought about partnering with outside. She was able to match me with 15 elderly families. And when I say families, this meaning grandmothers taking care of their grandkids. She was able
Sure.
to match me with those families to be able to receive a box on the first and third Friday so that they families can have something to prepare on the weekends.
Wow.
Great work. Great work.
I'm telling you, so many awesome things happening at the Arthur and Blank Family Youth YMCA that I'm sure a lot of us didn't even know. But as I
Very
understand
true.
it, yes, I've learned so much already. The Blank Youth Y also has a commercial kitchen which cooks, prepares, and delivers hundreds of summer food service program meals each day to many of our Ys throughout Metro Atlanta. What does it take to pull together such a large effort?
Look at her eyes get big.
Yes. Excuse me. So it takes a lot to make this happen. I can't take credit for any of it. I have to give credit to Mr. Q, Miss Lynn, and Monica, Miss T, Miss Sharon, and Mr. Kales because they make it happen each and every day. I will say I did get an opportunity to work in the kitchen last summer, and to
I
make
remember
that
you were making it happen, Monique. You were making it happen.
so. So with that, I say to make it happen, you definitely have to be team player. You definitely have to have teamwork. You definitely have to have effective communication. Know the food safety. I say, hey, I'll help. Didn't know anything about food safety. But through that, I was able to learn a lot from Mr. Q and his team. They taught me so much when it came to the kitchen, and they taught me so much when it comes to teamwork, being a team player, and communicating effectively with the staff. But the biggest part and the biggest thing that actually makes that kitchen run and work is volunteers and
Right.
vehicles with running air conditioning. So I would have to say that.
I understand.
Yes. So last summer we actually ran the kitchen with one van that had an air condition, and then two mini buses that did not.
Oh, wow.
So so that's two things that has to make this operation work: volunteers and vehicles that have running air conditioning.
Well, it's a lot, guys, because the cooking
Yes.
starts in the morning, but the meals have
Yes.
to get delivered to each of our summer camps that are providing these meals by like 11:30. So I mean,
Yes.
it is fast and furious
Mhm.
and so important. Really,
So,
so
Mhm.
important.
and
Very
all
important
the
work.
meals that we serve are they are nutritious meals. So we do three cold meals, and then we do 2 hot meals. So it's not like they're receiving cold meals every single day.
Mhm.
Um, Last year we was able to push out 1,200 meals per day
Mm.
for 10 weeks.
Wow.
This year we're at 950 meals per day for the next, what, 8 weeks? I'm counting down the
Wow.
weeks,
Yeah.
and I'm not even in the kitchen this
Mm.
summer. So, so that's one of the things that I say that I love about this facility, because we are
Mhm.
touching so many lives in the Atlanta community, and some people don't
Right.
even know or realize what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So we know that kids are leaving here with their bellies semi full after they
Right.
leave us, but we know that they received a nutritious meal when they were
Mhm.
here in our care.
Yes. Love it.
Yes. Yes. Well,
Mhm.
I want to ask you a personal question. The work that you're doing to support our staff and our leaders across the association with our African American Resource Network. And you're also a member of the Equity Cohort. Could you describe the work you do with both?
So, yes, and they both kind of tie in together. So, the work that I'm doing with the African American Resource Network Group and the Equity Cohort is by providing opportunities for our staff here in the Metro Atlanta Association, um, opportunities so they could be able to grow within the Y. So with AARN, that is focused on, actually it's open to all. So and this is
Mhm.
being able to provide those professional development opportunities for our staff. Um, Actually just giving them the resources to know what is happening within the association, but not
Mhm.
also in the association, that is happening within the Atlanta movement. It is so much
Mm.
happening here within the Atlanta movement that staff are not even aware of. Most people didn't realize, that they can move outside of their association and to be able to find another job. Because I was one of those. I
Mhm.
came from Middle Tennessee. Like I said, I was there for 15 years. I had various roles, but the opportunity presented itself for me to be able to become the co-chair for the Women's Leadership Network. And when I became the
Yes.
co-chair, that actually opened up doors for me to be able to know what is happening in the Y movement. And so by me holding the co-chair as the AARN for the Atlanta Association, I want to be able to create those same opportunities for the staff here, be able to open doors
Okay.
so they could be able to attend, which we're having a conference come up called ME, be able to
Mhm.
attend the multicultural experience, be able to know
Mhm.
about General Assembly, be able to tell them about Emily, those opportunities, just being able to create those opportunities for them to be able to attend some of those conferences, but also give them that professional development, whether it's around networking, whether it's around connecting them with a
Mhm.
mentor, whether it's around
Mhm.
connecting them with resume building, whether it's around helping them with when it comes to interviews. I want to be able to connect them in those avenues so they could be able to grow and expand, and hopefully someone will be able to take my place one day.
You and Shauna Kay do a
Very
great
nice.
job. You really do.
Absolutely, they
You
do.
really do.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And also with the equity cohort, I just want to make sure that we create those opportunities for everyone to be treated equally and everyone is
Mhm.
included. So and we're working alongside um Alicia and Amanda Minix, and we're also working along with the 2025 strategic plan. So everything that we're doing,
Nice.
we're aligning that with our strategic plan.
Oh, great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Mhm.
so the cohort is there just to be able to speak for those that's not at the table when we're there. So if I had a staff person
Yeah.
to come and, express some concerns, I want to be that person to go back and say, hey, this is what a staff person told me. How can we make sure that those people that's not sitting at this table are included?
Yep,
Nice.
that's what it's about. Yeah.
As I mentioned, I've always considered Monique to have one of the strongest voices at the
Thank
table.
you, Robert.
Even when I stepped into this position as the associate executive director at Young, Monique was one of the first calls I made, asking for suggestions and advice. So yeah, her word is truly like a if Montiel's word is the Bible, Monique's word is a scripture. I lean on it a lot. I lean on it a lot.
Love it. Love it.
And Monique, you said a lot. You said a lot, and your work, your passion for your work speaks for itself. What do you love the most about leading the Blank Family Youth Y? What do you love the most about it?
Oh gosh, that it sends chills through my body. It's so much that I love leading this Y, being able to contribute to, like I said, our future.
Yeah.
I love to hear the stories of that infant taking their first steps here, that 1-year-old saying their first words, that 2-year-old that's being able to learn how to love others, that 3-year-old being able to identify their letters with the teacher's assistant, but that 4-year-old that is exiting pre-K to enter in kindergarten, learning how to read, or knowing to read. It That's what I love most about leading the Arthur Blank, is hearing how our staff is able to contribute to the lives that we serve and touch every single day. That just gives me joy more than anybody will ever know. To say, oh, well, I was a part of that success, or the Arthur M. Blank YMCA was a part of that success. Just like you did the Centennial's Legends. I would love to be able to do that one day and say that these kids came through Arthur M. Blank Family YMCA, and look at them today.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You can feel your passion, Monique.
Truly.
Yeah.
And that is
I
like
love that.
a passion of mine, like youth, because I used to be one of those kids. So
Yes. Wow, Monique. Wow. So here we are, bringing our episode to a close. As we do each episode, we ask our guests to share their pathway to the Y story. We would love to hear yours, Monique.
oh, and trust me, back in 2006, the Y was not a part of my story.
Okay.
I was a college student. I was going to be a computer engineer. I was majoring in computer engineering, and I was going to be working on computers. I loved it. I still do. But I needed childcare because I was a single parent. I was 7 hours from home. I was at Tennessee State University, going to school full time, working part time. But I had a kindergartner that I had to get enrolled in somebody's childcare. And so at the school that my daughter was attending, the YMCA was their aftercare provider. I arrived every single day to get on the site director's nerve. So one day I arrived, which was the first day of school. She had over 100 kids. She was the only person there, because just like the Y, we trying to hire, and she needed help. And so I came in and I was like, I'm willing to help. What do you need me to do? But I need for my daughter to come on in here with me. Come on.
There you go.
So she put me to work with pre-K students. So I worked with pre-K as a volunteer. I did that for probably 2 weeks, and her supervisor came to me and said, hey, would you be interested in working for the Y? I just need you to open up the building in the morning because you had to bring your child to school. Open up the building in the morning and come in the afternoon and help close. And I told her, I said, I'm willing to open, but I definitely won't be able to close because I am in school full time, but I will do what I can. So I came in and I worked and I opened that building every single morning. As I worked for the Y, I began to grow and love the mission. I began to grow and love what the Y was doing for our youth, and what they did for my child. And so I became full time with the YMCA. It was probably weeks after that, they gave me my own site. So I became a site director for an after school program. And my journey continued. And I've been with the Y for over 16 years, I would say, probably 17. I stopped counting, to be honest. But but I have enjoyed my journey with the Y. I'm enjoying my journey with the Y, because I know where I could have been, and I see where I am now, and it was because of the YMCA that has me sitting here today. Because if I was that computer engineer that I wanted to be, I probably wouldn't be happy like most tech people. I'll be working night shifts. I won't be working night shifts, but I am doing something that I actually enjoy doing. So when I get ready to speak to parents about our Why It Matters, I can share my story of how we did not call it Why It Matters in Nashville. We called it annual giving. I can share how annual giving, Why It Matters, helped me. And so I could be able to share my story to those families. But I started out as a parent volunteer, and I am here today, 16, 17 years later.
Love it.
Wow.
Absolutely love it.
Thank you for sharing that. Wow.
Yeah,
so
really very personal story. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we have loved having you. I knew we would love having you. I knew it. And I am thrilled that you are in the Metro Atlanta Y now, even though you gave many years to the Nashville Association. We are fortunate to have you. And cannot sing enough accolades around the Arthur M. Blank Youth Family Y. It is truly just an amazing place. And they're lucky to have you.
Thank you. And thank you guys for the invite. I really enjoyed myself as well.
Yep. Thank you.
Hats off to you. Hats off to you.
Thank you. And happy birthday, Robert, if I don't talk to you by Sunday.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Y Podcast. To continue the conversation or to find your closest Y, please connect with us at ymcaatlanta.org and sign up for our newsletter, Healthy Together.
Thank you.